My name is Adriana Hernandez, and the movie I selected for my Great Films project was The Blind Side, directed by John Lee Hancock. This heartwarming film tells the true story of a young man named Michael Orr that overcomes numerous obstacles, such as living in poverty and continuously transferring in and out of the school system. He is able to overcome these hardships with the assistance of several godly people. His life does a complete 360 when he meets the Toohey family, and they so willingly take him under their wing and over time decide to permanently adopt him into their family. Michael's first encounter with the Tooheys, but specifically Mrs. Toohey, is when he is roaming the streets and she is driving with her family. Her motherly instincts kick in when she notices Michael wearing shorts and a shirt in the cold, and she instructs her husband to pull over. Without hesitance, Leanne invites him to stay the night since he had nowhere to go. This turns into the first of many nights that he spends with his soon-to-be future family.
Big Mike. Hey, my name's Leanne Toohey. My kids go to Wingate. You said you were going to the gym? School gym's closed. Why were you going to the gym? Big Mike, why were you going to the gym?
Because it's warm.
Do you have any place to stay tonight? Don't you dare lie to me.
Seen that look many times. She's about to get her way.
Come on. Come on. SJ, make room. Get inside. Come on.
Orr has a passion for football, and due to his protective instincts, he is very successful on the field. Michael later gets a multitude of scholarships for football, and it seems as if they are an ocean flooding in on him. You would have never thought that someone's life could change so much because of a few people, but this humbling true story changes that perception forever. There are many significant themes incorporated throughout the film, such as character, compassion, and love. Firstly, character, as well as integrity, are shown greatly across the movie. An example of this is when Leanne is at lunch with her friends and they are talking about how housing Michael may not be the brightest idea due to his race and background. She easily could have agreed with them and no one would have ever known, but she remained true to herself as well as her family and stood up for Michael. She does this by saying, "Shame on you." Another friend tells her that she is changing his life, and she replies with, "He's changing mine."
Leanne, is this some sort of white guilt thing?
What will your daddy say?
Before or after he turns over in his grave? Daddy's been gone 5 years, Elaine. Make matters worse, you were at the funeral. Remember? You wore Chanel in that awful black hat. Look, here's the deal. I don't need y'all to approve my choices, all right? But I do ask that you respect them. You have no idea what this boy's been through, and if this is going to become some running diatribe, I can find an overpriced salad a lot closer to home.
Leanne, I'm so sorry. We didn't intend to.
No, we didn't, really.
I think what you're doing is so great. To open up your home to him, and honey, you're changing that boy's life.
No. He's changing mine.
She always seems so humble and not for 1 second forgets her morals. Another example of this is when Collins is studying with her friends and they are all staring at Michael. He is alone and Collins leaves her friends to go study with him. He is very shocked and she tells him, "What, we studied together at home." At first, Collins seems very quaint, but despite all of this, she still remembers her morals and that family always comes first. Compassion is shown from start to finish. Substantial amounts are shown from the Tooheys, teachers, and the tutor. You don't see compassion for others very often, so seeing it together in this film is very neat and it shows you that there is still good in the world. Lastly, love. It is said that love overcomes all, and in this film that is proven to be true. I believe that out of all the themes I talked about, this one withholds the most significance due to the fact that the Tooheys had love in their hearts, which is why they initially took Michael in. Michael loved the Tooheys, so that is why he protected them, and they valued the relationships that they all had with one another. Throughout the whole film, pathos was displayed. An example of this is when Leanne is showing Michael around his room and he says, "I've never had one before." She replies with, "A room near yourself?" And he says, "No, a bed."
Chest of drawers,
We have a nightstand, a light, an alarm. Oh, and Sean says all the pro athletes use futons if they can't find a bed big enough, so I got you one of those. Of course, the frame was heinous. Not about to let that in my house, but I got you something nicer.
It's mine.
Yes, sir. What?
Never had one before.
What, a room to yourself?
A bed.
Well, you have one now.
The scene is absolutely gut-wrenching. Additionally, when Michael and Sean were driving to get a video game that they had been waiting for, Leanne couldn't take them, so Michael said that he would drive them. Dreadfully, they happened to get in a major car accident. This happened because they were singing a song and they were so into it that Michael had his eyes off of the road for too long. You cannot help but feel sympathetic because Michael felt terrible for what had happened, and he even tried to protect SJ from the airbag. He did this because of his instinctive nature to be overprotective. A scene in which displays pathos specifically for Michael is when he is on the field and Leanne gives him a pep talk, and she tells him, "When you think of him, you think of me." This resonates with him because he has grown to love her as if she were his biological mother. There are many scenes that can be considered the most climatic, but in my opinion, the most crucial hub would be when he goes back to his previous home after residing with the Toohey family, and his former friends are bashing his new family. Michael reacts by getting very angry and advises them to stop, and they start attacking him. This to me is the climax because it's when he has the realization that the Tooheys are his new family, and he would do anything in his power to keep them safe, even if that meant putting himself in harm's way. The title of the movie is especially relevant because it highlights the significance of football's role not only in Michael's life, but in the whole family's as well. Leanne tells Michael to protect the quarterback's blind side. It seems as though throughout the whole movie, Michael is protecting everyone but himself, and he must learn to protect himself. Michael has now learned many valuable life lessons, and he knows that he can never give up. He also learned that he can be dependent on people, and that not everyone will leave.